Hey guys, this is Rick. I have a long list of the narratives of Bitcoin Legacy, Bitcoin Core, that just aren't true to tick off in my little checkbox. Today, we're going to look at this narrative that the Bitcoin Core software engineers are the best in the world. People actually say this. Don't laugh. People actually say this. There's this going around that, yeah, I have absolutely no idea what's going on, as in this is completely counterintuitive, but these people are the best in the field. There's second to none, so I'm just going to trust what they're saying, even though it goes against every grain of what I can understand. Let's take a look at this narrative that these software engineers who hijacked Bitcoin Legacy, what is now Bitcoin Legacy, and took over the brand, are the best software engineers in the world. And in order to do that, we're going to look a little bit at some data. Specifically, let's take a look at the number of transactions on the Bitcoin Legacy network. This happens to be the same as the Bitcoin BCH network, but up until then, we were only talking in terms of the Bitcoin network, so I'm going to be using those terms. Up until 2015, we could see clearly that the number of transactions were rising. This is a plot of the average number of transactions per day. Every day is a plot. The size of the dot is network congestion. We don't have network congestion here yet. And we're seeing that is a rising trend. So up at 2015, this is 2015. A lot of voices started saying that, there's a rising trend here. At some point, they said and plotted this arrow out. This is going to hit the theoretical limit of the Bitcoin network as it stands today. That limit is around 3 transactions per second. And so, in 2015, a lot of people started observing that this is going to become a problem around 2017, early 2017. The Bitcoin Core engineers were in complete denial and even ostracized the people pointing out this data. As in, no, it's not going to get full. No, the network will not be congested. Absolute nonsense. And so the people pointing this out were essentially thrown out of the community. A year passed. We got another year of data, essentially validating what was pointed out a year ago. It is now 1 year until the network fails, the system fails. At this point, there is numerous initiatives to raise this limit, to raise it to way above the screen here. The first was raising it to 20 megabytes, then to 8, then to 2, and then not at all. The core engineers kept fighting and denying there ever was a problem. And so another year passed. The network became congested, just as had been predicted 2 years earlier. And this is where you get really bloody angry. Because the same people who denied 2 years earlier that there would ever be a problem are the ones who call themselves responsible and careful, because it's $1 billion network. It's hundreds of billions of value. And they are saying they're careful and responsible caretakers of this network. How is it in any world we know responsible to get a warning here about an upcoming failure of the system and not just ignore it for 2 years, but actively fight a solution to it? That is not what responsible and careful means. That is not just reckless and irresponsible. It is some of the worst software engineering, or so-called software engineering, on the planet I have seen in my 38 years of coding. They had 2 years of warning for a system failure, and not just did nothing. They actively fought every solution to the problem, despite the data being right in front of them. This is not what being a good software engineer means. This is not what being second to none means. This is not even meeting the bar for being bloody mediocre. This is some of the worst in the world. And when 2017 hits, they were still in complete denial. No, blocks aren't full, but look at the data. No, the blocks aren't full, but here are full blocks. The system is peaking out. No! And as 2017 started passing, there was this, frankly, half-assed solution called segregated witness, which was a monstrosity in complexity, and which didn't even manage to lift this limit by more than a few percent at the end of the day, instead of lifting the block size limit. As a result, the Bitcoin legacy market share has gone from 96% to 33%. Let us not mince words here. Any engineer responsible for this fuck-up on any company on the planet would not just be so fired, they would be fired out of the solar system. This is far, far below the level of just being mediocre. And as 2017 has passed, this chart ends at early 2017. As 2017 has passed and we're now into early 2018, we know that the network is completely congested. Any solutions, or so-called solutions, that the core legacy team has gotten have just managed to make it even worse. And this SegWit solution they fought so hard for and said that everybody's ready, it'll be perfect if we just get this in, wasn't even in the so-called reference client. This is not good engineering. When your brain is telling you that something is off, you should resist the urge to say that this is good engineering and so my judgment is failing me. Your judgment is not failing you. Core and legacy engineering is some of the worst I have seen in my 38 years of coding. That doesn't mean individual people are bad. They might be extremely good cryptographers, but this is not cryptography. This is software engineering. And as it stands from a software engineering standpoint, it is absolutely unforgivable. This is not good engineering. This is not even meeting the level of being mediocre.